So today I'm going to be building my first premium budget keyboard, and it's the QK65. But first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Teddo for sending over all of the stuff in the video. Thank you for them for supporting me and providing me with this keyboard as content. Pretty excited, let's get it started. So I believe the version I have right here is the Chroma QK65. Now let's unbox it and see what we get in the box. First thing I can see included is some stabilizers right here. I believe these are the Outlabs one. And you also get some screws and this kind of 3-headed screwdriver right here. Besides that, you also get a pretty good coil cable right here. It's a black coil cable with the QwertyKeys logo on it, and it feels pretty good for like a budget one. And of course, you also get a hard shell carrying case with the QwertyKeys logo on it, and we have the keyboard inside. So this carrying case right here feels really nice, and it's a hard shell carrying case and it feels really heavy. You can see the logo right there. Let's see what we get inside. First two little bags contain like silicone and plastic bits. So these I believe are the feet for the bottom of the keyboard. And right here we have the gaskets, so you can choose between these two silicone or you want the smaller black gaskets. And we also get a card from QK right here. We have the build guide and the Discord. I recommend you following the build guide right here, and you can join the Discord if you want. This is their logo on the back. And we get a few stuff right here, all with the QK logo. Let me go through it one by one. First one right here is the flexi plate. I believe this is the palm plate or the ABS flexi plate. Really nice. And the version Teddo sent over also have the FR4 plate option. So this is the FR4 plate. And inside this one is the plate form and I believe the hot swap PCB. So a few screws actually dropped out, so I believe this is for the plate or the PCB. This is the pour-on foam you get with the plate. It looks really nice. And you also get this really thin layer of film that sits on top of the PCB. So this is the PCB of the QK65. You can see it's all 5-pin hot swap and it's south facing. And you can also see all the flexi cuts in the PCB. And on the back we can see all of the hot swap sockets right here. These are all KL hot swap sockets. Now we can finally take a look at the keyboard. So this is the keyboard kit, and inside we get 2 more extra stuff. We get another pour-on foam right here that sits behind the PCB in the case. And we also get this huge chunk of silicone molding for the case. I don't think I will be using this. A lot of people say that this actually dampens the sound quite a lot and you don't hear the talk of the keyboard. And first impression so far, this aluminum case feels really nice and heavy, and it has this matte black all around the front. And this is the back of the keyboard. So it's my first time taking a look at this, and honestly it looks awesome. The chroma color really shines and it's so saturated. And this is the side profile of the keyboard. We can see a slight incline and we have the smooth cut right here. It all feels matte and it feels really nice, to be honest. And this is the top side. We can see the Type-C USB port in the middle. And the chroma color really looks awesome. It's even making my camera quite hard to focus on it. And this is the front. It's all just matte with no logos whatsoever. Really solid and heavy aluminum case. Now let's start the build. So I'm gonna start this build by starting with the stabilizers and the PCB. I started off by installing all of this film right here, which goes where the stabilizers go. After that, I took out everything we need to install the stabilizers with, and I started to put some permatex into the stabilizers. And once you have all of the stabilizers done and ready, you can now screw it into the PCB. And also remember to put on this film. I actually forgot to put it, but thank God I remembered it halfway, and I just cut out the holes for the steps and placed them on the PCB. After all of that, this is what the PCB looks like with everything installed. And after that, I moved on to install the plate for this keyboard. For the plate, I actually chose to use the palm plate because I want a more poppier or talkier sound. And to install this is actually really easy. All you need is this little bag of screws that they included. And you need to take 4 of the flathead ones and 4 more of the standoffs. And all you have to do is just screw it in until it looks like this for all of the 4 holes. But before you install the palm plate, remember to put 1 layer of this pour-on foam in between the plate and the PCB. After that, we can just place the plate on top of the PCB and we can install the switches. And for the switches, I'll be using the new KTT Halu switches. So these switches are also sent over by Teddo and they cost RM1.50 per switch. They are a linear type switch and they are inspired by the Filipino dessert Hello. So these are 5-pin switches and they are made by KTT. They have a bottom out force at 63.5 grams and 4mm of travel. So if you're interested in these switches, head down to the links below by Teddo, and if you buy more than 70 pieces, you get a free collectible ice cream pint packaging which can fit up to 130 pieces inside. First impressions, I really like these switches. They look awesome, especially with these pastel colors. I think they're very interesting, but I won't be lubing them. I'll be using them stock in this build. So let's just install it onto the plate and PCB. So after you're done installing all of the switches, we can now move on to the gaskets for the frame. In the box, there are two types of gaskets included. One is this whiter, longer, thicker silicone one, and you have the small nibs or the black ones inside as well. So if you want a more stiff typing experience, I recommend you use the longer one or the white one. And if you're like me, you want a more bouncy or more flexible typing experience, I'll be using the black ones instead. And all you have to do is just install this on all of the ends of the sides and you should look like this. Now we can move on to the case. Once you have everything opened up, we can now put in the plate and the PCB, so put it into the frame, and of course after that put in the pour-on foam you want to use or any of the silicone included. And after you screw everything back together, remember to put on the rubber feet. They just fit into these two holes next to the screws. And after everything is now installed, we can move on to the keycaps. And as for the keycaps of this QK65, I will be using the Miami Night Epbt keycap set. So again, this keycap set is provided by Teddo and it costs around 295 ringgit for this whole kit. So these are ABS plastic and of course they are double shot ABS and they are cherry profile keycaps, and each box or each set comes with 153 keys inside. I've actually used Epbt before and honestly I think that they are very nice ABS plastic and they have this kind of rough texture on it, and the print and I would say the double shot is really clear as well. I also think that these keycaps fit the switches and the keyboard very nicely. Now let's install it onto the keyboard. So with the keycaps all installed, it looks pretty good and I'm really excited for the typing sound test, so let's do that now. So yeah, from the typing sound test, you guys can actually hear that this keyboard sounds really good, especially with these keycaps and switches. Even though these switches are not looped yet, they already sound very poppy in my opinion, and they are really good switches. Honestly, I had a great time building this keyboard. I learned a lot of new stuff and it's my first time building an actual like premium budget keyboard. So my thoughts are this is a really good keyboard kit. If you did join the good buy, congrats to you. You have a great keyboard on your hands and this definitely turned out really nice. So if you're interested in anything in this video like the keycaps, switches and even the kit, I'll try to link them down below. And of course, a huge thank you to Teddo for sending over the QK65 kit, keycaps and switches for this video. So yeah, that is it for this video. Leave a like on this video if you liked it, dislike this video if you didn't like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I have even more content like this coming very soon, and as always, thanks for watching. Goodbye guys.